It wasn't too long ago that when I would say I'm from Idaho, a lot of people would go, "Where is that?" But now it seems like everybody knows about Idaho and many of them are moving here. But while that's happening, there's actually a mass exodus of people that are leaving Idaho, and for reasons that might really surprise you. It's hard to imagine that anyone would want to leave a place with 34.5 million acres of public land, over 2,000 lakes, and a dozen ski resorts, but they are, and in pretty large numbers. According to Consumer Affairs, in 2023 alone, 64,000 people moved out of Idaho, while 81,000 people moved in. That's not a small number, and knowing why they're leaving could save you a lot of heartache if you're someone thinking about Idaho being a place that you want to call home. The first reason is political polarization. For a long time, liberals and conservatives coexisted in Idaho as a kind of live and let live state, but in 2016, that really started to change. Conservatives started to push harder, trying to make Idaho even more of a conservative state and get their views written into law. Liberals definitely noticed and they started to push back. So in 2020, things got pretty weird. Liberal views started to move even further left. Ultimately, the sway between administrations started to become too much, and Idaho decided to start solidifying that this is a red conservative state that they do not want to change. So people who leaned left or were way left on the political spectrum decided Idaho is no longer a place that they wanted to call home. And for those of you who are wondering, my name is Trent, and on this channel we talk about what it's really like living, eating, working, and playing here in Idaho. If that's of interest to you, go ahead and click that subscribe button so you can catch more of these videos that we release every single week. And if you are serious about moving to Idaho, reach out at the phone number or email address listed below, or you can scan this QR code and schedule a time to talk with me or my team. We can create a custom list of areas in Idaho that matches your needs and wants that will ultimately save you a ton of time and heartache. Now, reason number 2, gun rights have gotten too real. Most everyone in Idaho likes the Second Amendment, but lots of Idahoans feel that "shall not be infringed" really means what it says, but there's a few that don't. So when Idaho decided to make constitutional carry the law of the land, meaning that if you're 18 years or older, you can carry a concealed weapon on you without needing a permit or any kind of permission from the government, things started to get a little too real for the people who liked the idea of the Second Amendment, but wanted to see more restrictions put on it. And when locals responded to Antifa protests by showing up fully armed with AR-15s and ballistic vests, this made those folks feel pretty uncomfortable. That was enough to get quite a few folks to call it quits and move to states that have more regulations on the Second Amendment. For most Idahoans, like myself, a good guy with a gun is a sign of protection and freedom. But for some folks, the sight of a gun in public makes them feel a little squeamish. Number 3, cost of living. This is where lots of people got pushed out. Many folks moved here because the cost of living was way cheaper than most places in the country. In fact, when my parents moved here in the 90s, they got their house for $120,000 and it was right on the golf course. But in 2018, prices started climbing while wages stayed flat, and that trend has only continued. The cost of homes have gone up 400% since 2000. And for food, gas, insurance, and many other expenses, those have jumped up a lot as well. For folks relying on prices staying low, they just couldn't stand paying so much more for the same thing they had for decades.
Oh, everything's too damn expensive these days.
Now to clarify, while prices have shot up on most goods and services, taxes have stayed lower than most of the neighboring states, especially fuel and property taxes. And the average pay for average workers has gone up to around $28 an hour. No, that's not our minimum wage, but for people in the trades working in hospitals or larger companies, that's the average. Still not enough to have a comfortable middle-class lifestyle, but it is enough to live in a state that offers tons of public access to the outdoors and beautiful scenery anywhere you live. Number 4, healthcare hazards. Look, Idaho has never had a great healthcare system, but at least you could get in and see a physician or specialist fairly quickly. But unfortunately, that is no longer the case, especially for people living in the areas that are growing rapidly. Wait times have increased significantly, and the price of copays and procedures have gone up considerably. That's kind of an issue everywhere, I hear. So with people who are planning on living in Idaho forever, they've decided to move where healthcare is a little more accessible and a little cheaper. There are plans in place to expand healthcare services, but it will be a few years before they can get caught up. Number 5, growth pains and change fatigue. Idaho is growing, and when things grow, they change. Most everyone who moved here came looking for their small rural slice of heaven, and quite a few locals aren't handling the loss of that dream very well.
The dream is dead.
And they can no longer afford the price of acreage and custom building to keep that dream alive. So they're leaving, looking for greener grass somewhere else, or at least somewhere that isn't experiencing the influx Idaho is dealing with. Number 6, isolation hangover. For both locals and newcomers alike, they're starting to realize the rural isolated lifestyle isn't all it's cracked up to be. As things get weirder in our country, they're starting to wish they lived closer to friends and loved ones. And since Idaho is a hard sell for anyone not looking for the lifestyle Idaho offers, they're pulling the plug and moving to other places so they can be with their friends or family. Living rurally sounds like a dream to most people, but it comes with a lot of responsibility to take care of things yourself and to keep yourself busy. There's only so many conversations you can have with your cow before you get tired of their moodiness. See what I did there? Number 7, maintenance fatigue. Living in Idaho means playing outdoors. Boats, jet skis, dirt bikes, tractors, 4x4s, or RVs. All of these require maintenance and upkeep. And that means dozens of hours of your time as well as a few bloody knuckles. Or a constant drain on your checking account to have someone else do it for you. As costs go up and joints become more stiff, it gets harder to want to keep those hobbies. And since Idaho is an outdoor lifestyle state, living here without those hobbies can induce some serious boredom. The sunny beaches of Florida and the year-round golfing in Arizona do start to become a very tempting option for a lot of locals. Number 8, 4 seasons becomes one too many. Most people love the idea of living in a place with 4 seasons, but the reality of it is much different. And for those who have done it for many years, it can definitely wear on you. Winters aren't snowflakes and icicles. It's freezing temperatures, frozen windshields, slick roads, and gray skies that can last for weeks. As people get older, that cold weather can be felt in all of their joints that have arthritis. So places with plenty of warm weather and sunshine start seeming like a much better place to call home. Number 9, kids flourish and then they flee. Idaho is one of the best places to raise kids, hands down. There's endless camping, fishing, hiking, and freedom to hunt and raise your own animals. But once they're done with high school, the darker reality of Idaho sets in. Colleges are limited outside of Boise, Moscow, and Coeur d'Alene. So more often than not, young people leave to go to college.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And coming back to work a high-paying job is rarely in the cards. High-paying jobs are limited, and they're tough to get here without years of experience. And starting a family can be really tough too. There are some sources that rank Idaho's dating pool 39th out of 50. And I can attest, I had to go outside Idaho to find my wife. Not like a mail-order bride from Russia or anything, just over in Washington. But it is an issue. There is not a big dating pool here in Idaho, so young people can sometimes struggle to find their person. Number 10, expectation burnout. People come looking for peace and freedom here in Idaho, but they don't realize it always comes at a cost. To have the ideal dream life in Idaho, it takes discipline, adapting to changes, and the ability to deal with temporary discomfort. Many want it, but few are willing to pay for it long term. Idaho is one of the best places to live, but it's not for everybody. Now that you know what this list looks like, you can decide if this is a place that you seriously would consider moving. And if you are, reach out to us at the phone number or email address listed below, or you can scan this QR code up in the corner and schedule a time to talk with me or my team, and we can put together a custom list of areas that would fit you best based on your needs and wants. And hey, if you look up here, you can click on one of my other videos and continue learning about what life is really like here in Idaho, and then go brag to all your friends about how much more you know about this crazy awesome place than they do.
At least everyone knows I'm smarter than you.
Thanks for watching. I will see you later.